Hey y'all, this week in class we are going to be doing case studies, which essentially means we're going to take what we've learned so far, what we've talked about, and put it into practice, into some real life situations for y'all to think about how you might handle them. So later this week, at the end of the week on Friday, I'll be emailing you each a case study, and your assignment for next week is a discussion board, and you'll cut and paste your case study there, and then you'll write up an answer. And then for your response, you'll respond to someone else as the prompt instructs. Okay, so keep in mind, your responses don't necessarily have to be fully correct. They don't have to be all inclusive. You could go get information from other resources, but please note where you got the information if you do that, to give credit and to be sure I can evaluate what resources you're using. Obviously, class content and what we've discussed, you could just say, when we talked about resumes, we did this. When we talked about networking, we did this. And then I read this and that substantiates it, or that says something different. So maybe I'll go this route. So I have an example I'll give you. So none of y'all will get this because I'm using it as an example, but most of the case studies are longer. So I picked this one as a short one. I'm a recent college graduate and I'm seeking full-time employment. How do I sell myself on a resume when I'm not sure where to begin? I don't even know where to begin. So I, modified some of these and changed them a little bit, but I don't even know where to start. So think about what we talked about in resumes and in job analysis, job posting analysis. So my advice, and you will definitely enhance this, you should have a good, at least 7 to 10 sentences for this instead of just a couple. So I'm looking for well-developed responses here, since this is all we're doing this week as we get back into the swing of things from spring break. You'll want to touch on how to analyze a job posting and looking at the required capabilities versus preferred. You'll want to touch base on all the relevant things that are required in a resume, and perhaps them being able to find a template. If it's one of our students, they could ask me for that template, but not to use a template from Word. You'll want to touch on using keywords from the job posting and emphasizing where they do meet the criteria for the job. You could touch on how the student should really go outside their work experience. So they have volunteer experience that covers some of these abilities. And if they don't have those things, what they should do. Put in things like they're a quick learner. Talk about transferable skills that the job posting requires. Okay, so all of that would easily make 7 to 10 sentences, and then you could always substantiate that with outside resources as well. But you'll write it up like you're giving someone advice, like it was like an Ann Landers column or Ask a Manager website. Something where you're actually giving the feedback. You're writing that up into a really nice little package. And that's all we're doing this week, because for the next 2 weeks after that, we'll start working about how to evaluate a job posting, what those look like, or not evaluate a job posting, a job offer, and then post-college experiences. And then the last 2 weeks, you'll be working on your portfolios, and I'll be answering your questions for each week as needed, because I know y'all have a lot of questions and we haven't been in class in person, so I could take those randomly. But yeah, you're each going to get a case study like this, and you're going to type up at least 7 to 10 sentences of a response, backing yourself up with information from the classroom, what you believe to be ethical, if you look up laws and policies, or look up other websites for those sources as well. So let me know if you have any questions on the assignment, and I'll be getting this out Friday. I'm sure y'all aren't even looking at this before Friday, but just in case you are, I'll get these out Friday of spring break, so you can start working on them Monday next week.